Greetings, my friend. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future. You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here. And now, for the first time, we are bringing to you the full story of what happened on that fateful day. We are giving you all the evidence based only on the secret testimony of the miserable souls who survived this terrifying ordeal. The incidents, the places. My friend, we cannot keep this a secret any longer. Let us punish the guilty. Let us reward the innocent. My friend, can your heart stand the shocking facts about grave robbers from outer space?
Yes, it's P. Hello, everyone. P, of course, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Anyone seen it? I think it's definitely one for Derek Findas. That's got to be a Derek stream sometime, surely. How are we all doing? Good to see you all. We've got Pillock, Ralph, Monty, Mike, Mr. Green Fox, Mark Central, Adam. Adam's just building his new Ender 3 based on my video. I hate those T-nuts, yeah. Oh, it looks so easy on the video, doesn't it? But there may have been a few edits. But I hope you're getting on. I hope that video's proved useful to you in some way. Whacked Man, White Dragon, Derek. Oh no, no! I missed the clap. I missed the 8 o'clock clap. I feel bad. Sorry, everyone. Oh no, my neighbours are going to be judging me so badly. I'll make up for it. I'll clap twice as hard next week. Get that camera straight. So, you have absolutely swamped my inbox today. So many things to get through. Let me shut the door now Gizmo's gone. I didn't even think. Why did I schedule this for 8 PM? Should have waited till 5 past. Sorry, everyone. Now, I have disabled the mute button, you'll be pleased to hear. I have to manually click it to mute it now, so we should have no mute problems today. P is for Plan 9 for Outer Space. Is anyone going to say it? Is anyone going to say it? Can I have a P, please, Bob? And we have got one O game that's rolled over from yesterday, so let's start with that. Let's start with James's O game. Oh, Dave, thank you. We've got my first ever super chat on the channel. Thank you. So James's O game is... Oh, it's another Outrun. Outrun 2019. I'll let you hear a little bit of the music. It's alright. Now that to me does not look very Outrun-ish. Yeah, it looks like Batman, doesn't it? This is just a gameplay video that's ripped. I don't think we need to watch 4 minutes of it. Thank you, Saints. Oh no, we've got a selection of O games. Okay. On the Run. Looks pretty nice as specky games go. Now, you'll all be very excited today. We've got Costado in the chat. And do you remember Costado teased us with his games room after his epic tour? He sent in the second part, so we're going to see what's in that room today. What are the enemies in this game? They're sort of weird buttocks with pincers. One man and his droid. Classic. Especially the Rob Hubbard music, but I don't know that we're going to get to hear that. Those sound effects. I mean, it was impressive what some people managed to get out of that Specky speaker. This is not an example, I mean music-wise. Hello, Martin. Oh, One Man and His Droid 2. 128k only. Not played this one. Good afternoon, Mr. Matt Balmer. Nice to see you. I don't think that's a Rob Hubbard tune. Good evening, yes, evening. Hello, Bitegeist. And to you, Super Grover. And O is for Ocean Conqueror? Ocean Conquer. Conquers in the ocean. This is a serious game of Conkers. I have no idea what's happening. Anyone? Control Alt Reese, thank you. Atari ST Amiga draws. Where's the refund button? Give him his money back. Overlander. This has got a sort of a no, what's the Road Blasters kind of feel to it, hasn't it? In fact, I'm going to say it's a rip-off of Road Blasters. Oh, there we go. That's James's O game. Thank you, James. Top choices. Outrun wannabe? Nah, I'd say more Road Blasters. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll make up for missing the clap today by well, by taking hopefully nearly £4,000 to my local hospital after the charity drive. How does that work for you? So where do we start? Now Aidan has sent a video in. You want to start with Custado, do you? We can start with Custado. Aidan sent a video in and said, I'm sorry it's 11 minutes long, so I don't know if we need to do that one in sittings. We'll see. That's like a full-on RMC episode. Let's get with Custado. Come on, we all want to see it. I'm not going to tease you, I'm not that mean. Right, let's get the volume on. We all need to hear what this man has to say. Hello, Pixels.
Hello, Cave Dwellers. This is Custado.
Hello, Custado. Everybody say hello, Custado.
Here is part 2 of my room tour. I could see you all love a good cliffhanger, so let's go counterclockwise this time.
We do love a cliffhanger.
In the corner we have European Saturn games. DS. This is Game Boy Advance. There is Metal Slug. It's a great title.
Now, Custado, obviously you've positioned these as sort of per system, but within that, have you alphabetized them? How do you decide where they go on the shelves? What's your system? Tell us about it.
Mega Drive, PC, Sega CD, a little bit of Commodore 64 tapes. Boxed and loose.
Oh, sorry, yes,
Nintendo
I am
64.
blocking. Sorry, my massive head is in the way. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me just shrink my massive head. There we go. Well, yeah, let's look at Custado's room tour. What do you reckon? You enjoying that?
Saturn games.
Right, get that massive head out the way. There we go.
Great title. Mega Drive.
Random alphabetized order.
PC, Sega CD. A little bit of Commodore 64 tapes. Boxed and loose Nintendo 64. A complete collection of Sega Ages 2500. Some Japanese and US PlayStation 2 games. European games for the PlayStation 2. And on the bottom we have PlayStation 4.
We'll come back to that in 20 years.
So the next 3 rows are anime DVDs.
Oh wow.
Late 80s, 90s and early 2000s anime. All the great titles are here, pretty much. There in the corner is a small collection of ZX Spectrum tapes. I'm not really that into tape collecting.
Monty's offered £100.
A few games.
And he offers over £100.
That you knew from childhood. And here is my 1+3
Hello, Pints.
disc game. Next, there's the row of Blu-rays, which is way too many. Then PlayStation 3. A pitiful collection of Master System games. I think there's only 3. Maybe I have a 4th in the console, but I'm not
Mike,
sure.
the bidding has to go up, not down.
Dreamcast. A bit of homebrew for the Dreamcast. The ColecoVision games. It's a Famicom Arkanoid with a pedal controller. You can just about see the controller in the package. There's my box of loose Jaguar games.
He's hobbling around on his crutch with his broken leg.
Some bootlegs. Ooh, bootlegs. Evil. My few boxed Jaguar games. And then a nice big row of Xbox 360 titles. Below that, the whole shelf is dedicated to Wii. Wii.
Oh, you like your Wii games then?
Below that, the Wii U, which is almost retro, I would say. Here's a few more Dreamcast homebrew titles. PlayStation Vita.
Russell, the
3DS.
charity money goes to Brighter Futures,
some loose Famicom games.
a charity that will give it to hospitals
and then a big
in
row
Wiltshire,
of original Xbox
including Swindon, where I
games.
am.
And on the row on the floor are all my video pack games. The collection is about 80% complete. And there's even a few homebrew titles for the system. So in the corner, those boxes of loose CDs are what's left of my big box PC collection.
No, what did you do with the big boxes?
All the boxes are gone. They were destroyed in a leak in the attic.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Nightmare.
that's really a big shame. Next up in the corner is the VC4000. A few Suzo arcade sticks. In this case is a ZX Spectrum issue 3 48K. A few more joysticks,
Nice
an Atari
case.
portfolio. Densha the Go controller, another one. A Dreamcast gun. A twin stick for Virtual On. That's a Apache slot controller for the Super Famicom. A sound canvas, and in the box below that
nice sound canvas.
is an MT32 sound module.
Oh,
Some light guns for the NES and for
So much
the
good
Master
stuff.
System. Here's my small collection of quote, unquote, original pirate CDs.
and
let's see.
Microsoft
Oh
Golf.
No More Games number 5. Oh No More Games number 10. Twilight is also a series. Oh No More Games number, what is it? 6 or 16? Whatever. A flight sim. FA-18 Hornet. And there's my collection of loose PC Engine
cue
games
cards.
in the binder.
Oh, I need a binder like that. Where did you get that?
I started collecting PC Engine
I've got
years ago.
I've got like 2 cards to put in it. But
Back then the prices weren't as high as they are now, so it's not as bad as it looks. Then Super Famicom boxed, PC Engine, CD-ROM and complete U-card games. Some Japanese and European Mega CD, Neo Geo CD,
I do, Bitegeist.
my Lynx systems.
I can't find my Chase HQ.
ASCII stick for the PlayStation 1, the Dreamcast arcade stick.
Oh, it's a
Saturn
baseball
arcade
card
stick,
binder, is it? Okay.
Japanese Mega Drive arcade stick with micro switches. Yep, only the Japanese version. There's another Saturn arcade stick, Dreamcast steering wheel.
So many steering wheels.
In the back there or some plug-in systems, plug-and-play systems. Here's two Densha to Go controllers, the modern style and the classic style.
This is like a shop that I want to be in right now.
Tommy Munchman or Pac-Man, whatever the sticker said. There's the Timex 1000. Here is a small collection of Japanese Saturn games. This collection is growing as well. Then the Sidewinder 3D Pro, a Panasonic arcade stick. 3 Micromsoft. You may know Microsoft from the Framemeister, but they used to create all kinds of stuff in the 90s, including a line of joysticks for a number of consoles, and these are 3 of them. My
StarTech capture card that I use it's a Micromsoft chipset that's rebadged as StarTech, so that's interesting. I didn't know they made joysticks.
PC Engine, MSX/Master System, and Super Famicom. Then there's a PlayStation analog controller, an ASCII arcade stick for the Famicom, including, weirdly enough, a tape interface, so you can load and save your load runner levels. Then my collection of handheld systems, notably the Neo Geo Pocket, the GP32, the GP Wiz, and the GP2X. On the shelf below that is some extra hardware. And on the shelf below that are the Amiga 500, Atari STE, and another Atari 1040. Next we get to the Lynx corner. Lynx 1, Lynx 2. The Lynx 1 is my original system from back in the day. And here is the boxed Lynx games.
Oh, that's nice. Boxed Lynx games.
Lynx is a great system to collect for. It's not too expensive. Highly recommended.
Chips Challenge. I could play Chips Challenge all day on the Lynx.
Japanese PlayStation 1. European PlayStation 1, some more European stuff. Here's the collection of GameCube games, ending with some Japanese stuff in the bottom here.
I know you've got a lot of stuff, but you really do like your Nintendo.
I really like custom controllers. And here's a look at the Pucci Carrot PlayStation Limited Edition. And this is the controller it comes with. Unfortunately, the controller you actually get is not the same color as the one on the box. There's about 8 games that support this controller, and there's even a few titles that support 2-player mode with the pedals. So to play those, you need 2 pedals.
Pillock makes a good point. He says, I think I'm realising why Castaldo does so well on the quiz about old computers on the RMC quiz on a Saturday. It's because he owns them all.
Well, and that's why I have 2 of these limited edition boxes. It's the cheapest way to get the pedals. Don't buy them loose from Japan. Oh yeah, I totally forgot Bender. Here's Bender. My small collection of SpongeBob
Pez dispensers
stuff. And here's the little mascot from Paranoia Agent from the late and great Satoshi Kon. Here's Doraemon. Hello Doraemon. Hello. Finally, we're back in the kitchen with a look at my Philips PCs and the Mister. So that's it. Neil.
Hello.
Back to you in the studio.
Yeah. Oh, look, and there it is. There it is, the winner's prize. He's got his I won the RMC quiz, and all I got was this lousy mug. That's what you win. It's what everyone wants. We got the tape measure. We got the calendar. We got the mug. There's only 2 of these in the wild. Should probably use the soundboard. There you go. Have some sounds. Hazaran back there. You've got the time it takes for the board to revolve. I've been to museums with less computers, says Steve. Yeah, it's an impressive collection, and he's always adding to it. I see Castaldo at expos, and he's always sniffing out a bargain, nose in the air. Right, let's smash through some games then, because we've got so many. P is for Pogo Joe, and this is a submission from Ben. Oh no, there's no audio. I'll just read what he has to say. Ben says, here is my choice for P, Pogo Joe. I've sent you a movie as it's got some gameplay screens on it. No sound. Okay, I should have read this first. One day I asked my dad what game he thought had the best graphics, and he said Pogo Joe. This shocked me as at the time I had an Amiga for a few years and he's seen tons of games on it. Pogo Joe is a Qbert-like game with a few twists, nice animation, different shaped levels rather than just the pyramid, some levels where you can only jump on the tiles once and they disappear. The box in the middle contains both the disc and tape copies. That is still playing. They offered a full refund of the purchase price if you weren't satisfied for the first 14 days. Those that have played it might notice the word PAX comes up if you clear the 10th level. This was because there was a competition where you could fill in a form at the place of purchase and enter a draw to win $10,000 and fill in the answer PAX. No purchase was necessary to enter. Regards, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Up here it says Atari 800, 1200, Commodore 64. So that doesn't really help us. It's just got all the systems on the sticker. On to our next game. This one's from Damo. P4 Project Zero, Project Zero 2, and would you believe it, Project Zero 3, The Tormented. Neil, my P game nomination, the Project Zero series of game. I believe these are known as Fatal Frame in America and Japan. I only have the... Is that right, Dana? You're my go-to for Japan. Woody, you're my go-to for America. I only have the PS2 games, but there are more in the series. One on the Nintendo DS titled Spirit Camera, another on the Wii titled Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, and finally one on the Wii, Maiden of Black Water. But none since. Hopefully there'll be a new one on the Switch at some point in the future. Just your standard fighting Japanese ghosts with your camera genre. Creepy and great fun. More people should give it a try. Fighting Japanese ghosts with your camera. Is that a genre? Used to be a game on the Amiga called like Safari Hunter or something like that. And you didn't shoot the animals, you had to take photos of them on Safari. Park Patrol? Snore, says Mike. He's not one for ghosts and cameras. Here's Dana. Dana says, back in the GameCube's heyday, Capcom pledged 5 exclusive games to the platform, the legendary Capcom 5. Of those, only 4 materialised, and just one would stay true to the pledge of exclusivity. That game was PN03. Oh, supposed to be read PN3. I really should read these things in advance. That game was PN3. Opinions seem to be mixed on its Apple product future, visual design, and the arcade shooter inspired skill driven battles, which are rather divisive. I personally think it's a beautiful game with fantastic music and satisfyingly challenging gameplay. Absolutely worth a look. A forgotten treasure. That one in the middle looks horrifying. Oh, I think that was the previous picture. So PN3, product number 3. I think you have become the Apple device. Thank you, Dana. So our next one. Oh, okay, so I've got some YouTube links and I got some pictures. It wasn't going to be long before this came up, was it? It's P4 Pac-Man. P for Pac-Man, as featured in Retro Gamer magazine this month for his 40th birthday. Waka 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 waka. I need some Pac-Man sounds on my soundboard. There he is. So let's just open up these links. Oh, with the adverts, what is that an advert for? I kind of want to watch it. So, a choice of P is Pac-Mania from Daniel. This is on the Amiga. Plays well on the Amiga, but I have to say there was a brilliant version of Pac-Mania on the Acorn Archimedes. Better than the Amiga, I would say. Yeah, Bitegeist knows. Bitegeist knows. Great version on the Archimedes. Ms. Pac-Man was better. I've always heard that, Paul. I was never a hardcore Pac-Man player, but Ms. Pac-Man took it up a level, didn't it? Came out the following year or a couple of years later. Hello there, Mark Fixes Stuff. Mark Fixes Stuff only experienced the stream from the other night with Gary this afternoon. He very much enjoyed it. This is another P game from Daniel. It's Psycho Pinball. I mean, how psycho can Pinball get? This psycho. I mean, it looks fairly serene. Looks quite nice. Howdy, Susie. Howdy, Richard. Howdy, Mark. Is there anything psycho about this? Looks very much like Pinball Dreams or Pinball Fantasy. No, I'm not seeing the psychoness. Anyway, and then the final one. Let me get the link for that. It's PP Hammer, not MC Hammer. It's PP Hammer on the Amiga from Daniel. Yeah, this was a fun little game. Nice little sort of puzzler with your pneumatic drill. Dana says, I should have thrown in Psychic World. Well, you can send it over for tomorrow if you like. Disk operation. Please wait for a moment. It's not going to work if you stick your head through it, mate. Thank you, Daniel, for your suggestions. Next up, it's... oh, this one looks interesting. I mean, they all do, but this one particularly piqued my interest. So, we're back in Dave's very noisy room. So I think we'll leave the volume off because he's captioned it. Let's just play it. So it says, I'm sure this game will appear in a lot of today's P choices, but this is an ASCII version running on an RS-232 terminal. Oh, go on then. I'm going to give you the sound because you got to hear it. You got to hear those fans spin up and those discs spin up. Here we go. That's how you load a game. You thought the Amiga's disk drive was loud. Do you think it's going to load Crisis? ASCII Pac-Man for the PDP-11 by Daniel Pratt. Translated for the PDP-11 by Mark Fixes Stuff. It was too quick. Sorry, missed the name. So there's ASCII Pac-Man. Actually works really well. You might go deaf in your left ear if you sat there playing it. But that's a sacrifice that I think's worth it. LJ45 Chimera in the chat is Dave, who submitted this video, so thank you, sir. That's great. More of that kind of thing, please. And Dave also has a YouTube channel on which you will find such videos. And I saw on your channel, Dave, you've done the Acorn Phoebe conversion to the Raspberry Pi, which is exactly a project that I want to do, so I'm really going to watch that one with interest. I have subscribed. Here is the link to Dave's channel. Take a moment to go and subscribe, and if you click on it, you just see the videos that pop up immediately. There's a lot of good stuff. But don't watch them now. Come back. Make sure you come back. You're welcome, Dave. I'm really going to enjoy watching those videos. Custado is back. Custado, how long have you been? You've missed this thing. You missed this, Custado. We loaded a massive floppy into a PDP-11 and we played ASCII Pac-Man. Yeah, I bet you haven't got that disc in your collection, Custado. Next up is Jay. Ooh, Jay with some sexy photography and out of focus tape measure in the background there. Show me the money! Didn't mean to press that one, but fine. What's that? Is that an Atari portfolio? I'm not sure. Anyway, we're not looking at that, we're looking at this. Plock. Oh, we've got an essay on this one from Jay. He says, great live stream and videos as always. Thank you, Jay. After 3 days of not quite successfully retrobrating my SNES, the first game I popped in today, after reassembling, is Plock from 1993. Oh yeah, you got a good shade on that. Looks nice. I found this in a bargain bin around 1995, and it's probably one of the last brand new games I purchased for the SNES. A fantastic game with colourful smooth graphics and outstanding soundtrack from the Follin brothers, showcasing what the SNES APU can really do. And of course Plock himself with his primary weapon party trick, being able to launch all four of his limbs to inflict enemy damage, toggle switches and collect items. I think that's how Custado suffered his injury. He launched all of his limbs and one of them didn't come back properly. However, the game is extremely difficult and quite long, not helped by the lack of saves. Few and far between continues and reluctance from my parents to let me leave it switched on overnight. I think I only completed the game once on the original hardware and then soon forgot about it. Thankfully emulators with save states were invented and it's now one of those games I keep coming back to. Completing it once is more times than I complete most games. Most games. I've got such a short attention span when it comes to games. But look, there's his limbs going everywhere. Stog, I didn't realise it was P and I've been meaning to share pinball dreams. Any late Ps will be shown tomorrow, so if you got a P, send it in. Okay, Mumbo. What do you got for us today, Mumbo? Wow. Wow, why haven't I got this in my life? I didn't know this was a thing. I've got an iToy. We might have to review this on the channel. Mumbo again, I've picked up my P games. iToy Play Pom Pom Party for the PlayStation 2. One of quite a few games made for use with the iToy camera. As far as I can tell, despite it being developed by London studio, this game was never released in the UK, which seems a bit odd. There's no point trying to read the small text in the photos unless you can read Danish, Finnish, Norwegian or Swedish. Here's a brief description. iToy Play Pom Pom Party is your chance to pull off some groovy moves and become the coolest cheerleader around. Whew. The game comes complete with a real set of pom-poms, and as you follow the directions on screen and wave them to the groove of the music, the iToy USB camera will detect your movements and score your dancing. Gary, pom-poms, I think so, Bitegeist. That it was released at all is the amazing part, says Costado. You know you want to be the... Yeah, I do. I want to be the coolest cheerleader around. His other P game is Pocahontas. It's another one of these Sega Pico games. With the flappy books. I could have chosen the Pico itself, if I knew where I'd put it. Have you read up on how the Pico works yet, Neil? No. Find your Pico and do us a show and tell. This is how a Pico works. I think we all need to see that. When I say we all do, I mean me. On the last Pico games I sent, you guessed they're from 1992. You were close, they're from 94. This one is from 1995. Again, I have the box scans on RF Generation for your reading pleasure. Here's a couple of links in the chat. That's the box scans if you want to see it. And finally... No, these are great, Mumbo. These are great. We're all learning. You do a show and tell of still pictures maybe of the Pico if you find it. Send me some text and I'll read it and we'll go through the pictures. Pokemon Yellow version, special Pikachu edition for the Game Boy. I believe I got this as a Christmas present as a kid. Once I'd managed to finally beat the Elite Four, I unexpectedly had to beat my rivals straight afterwards. I kept failing and eventually just gave up. Still a great game. Back to you, Neil. Sometimes it's okay to give up. Pokemon for children, says Mike. Is that all Pokemon or just this? Is this specifically for children? Like more childish children than Pokemon normally is. Has Pokemon Go died down? Does it? Can you still play Pokemon Go? Have they closed the services? I mean, I don't mean like right now. You wouldn't want to play Pokemon Go in the middle of a pandemic. What are you doing? I'm playing Pokemon Go, officer. Speaking of which, I went for my allotted hour today. I got home, went for a run, just squeezed a run in before I started setting up for tonight. And had a bit of a bad experience because I went for a run. Normally you go out running, I'm going around all the country lanes, you come across someone walking their dog and they immediately go to one side, you go to the other, and you give each other 2 meters and you say thank you and everything's all nice. I was running towards a couple tonight, probably in their 30s. They were 2 abreast, there was no way I could get through them or around them, so I politely stepped up on the verge and just kind of jogged on the spot, keep myself warm, and waited for them to come past because they weren't going to give me room. And as the guy walked past, he stepped right up to me, clapped, and went, "Come on, keep running." What are you doing? What are you doing? I said, "I will if you give me 2 meters." And he just went, "Ooh." What an idiot. So that kind of, I was having a nice run. And that annoyed me. But then I came across lots of other people who all did the normal thing and were nice and lovely. So there's always one, isn't there? There's always one that will spoil it all for everyone. And that's why a tactic of let the British people use their common sense is not really a tactic. Always work to the lowest common denominator. And Mark, now I didn't punch the guy because he was about 6'5" and stacked. That would have just made things a lot worse. Anyway, I shook it off and finished my run. Let's get back to the games. Where did we get to? That was Mumbo. Paul Kitchen, the man who is destined to win the RMC quiz one day. One punch Neil. No, I'll just break my wrist. It's the only thing that can happen out of me getting in a fight. I will just damage myself, and then they'll damage me. Dave had a worse experience. He says, "I was all ready to watch a Daily Diary broadcast and I missed the start because the guy doing it did not adhere to the NHS clap at 8 PM. What an idiot. What is wrong with people tonight?" Oh, it was me. I'm sorry. So let's read Paul's text. He says, "Hi Neil, P is for Paradroid, a brilliant mix of shooting and strategy. I drew a C64 picture loading picture several years ago of the game box, and it loads the pic on a modified version of Paradroid that I have. So I've included my loading picture. It's a shame the game didn't have it on release." So that is Paul's own loading picture that was not in the original game, but he's stuffed it into his copy. That's cool. That's a really nice thing to do. There's the original box, so he copied that for his picture. Got the Zap Gold Award. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of instructions. Ultra smooth, multi-directional, so very much like my head. Mark never understood Paradroid. Thank you, Paul Kitchen. I don't know if you're here, but if you're watching later, thank you very much, sir. Good job. Sheepy Tina. Now, can Sheepy Tina outdo Dana with her gaming knowledge? Tina being Dana's other half. Okay, who can read this? I think this is the ketchup game. Yeah, definitely. Riding a tomato. Yeah. Oh, it's the sequel. It's Ketchup Game 2. Definitely. For my submission for the letter P, I present to you a complete in-box Pocket Puyo Puyo 2. The Pokemon Pinball box is for scale. Oh, there are other pictures, sorry. Pronounce that. Puyo Puyo is a popular puzzle game series in Japan, but has had limited exposure internationally. You may be familiar with the series as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine or Kirby's Ghost Trap, both of which were adaptations of the first game. I have heard of Puyo Puyo. Oh yeah, it's a very small box. The Game Boy version lacks colour, but manages to still be rather playable. It even supports 2 controllers for multiplayer on the Super Game Boy. It's an excellent port, and this boxed copy is one of my favourite things I own. Also attached is a collection of every Puyo Puyo game we have. I dipped into Dana's Super Famicom library too. Her personal favourite is the one that looks more like a box of Japanese curry than a video game. That's this picture. So this is the one that looks like a curry easily. Look at that. Why? Why though? What is the plate of gravy all about? We got PS4, PS3, Switch. Nice. Katsu Gold Curry. I mean, there is a Sonic curry, isn't there? There is a blue curry. It turns your mouth blue. Why not? You're right, the Himble. Why not? Next up, it's Simon. Oh, Simon has sent us a novel. So let's bring up a picture and read through this. Looks like the guy from that board game. Is it Nightmare? No. Yeah, Nightmare. I think it was called. Yeah, it was called Nightmare. The VHS board game. You maggots. The year was 1998 and I was still a hardcore Amigan. Then came along the ultimate piece of PC software that I absolutely had to have, Baldur's Gate. But obviously that begins with a B. The follow-up game using the same engine came the following year. Planescape Torment. Atmosphere, that's it. Thank you so much, Atmosphere. I have a sister who's 8 years younger than me, so quite an age difference. And when she was younger and I had to babysit her, I would just put the Atmosphere VHS on. Yeah. The film noir-ish plot sees you wake up in a mortuary slab with no memories. You don't even know your name. This makes your quest much more personal than your typical kill the dragon, take its gold storyline. The setting is the weird desert city of Sigil, the city of doors. Centre of the plains. There are no Tolkien tropes here, no elves, no dwarves. Expect to rub shoulders with tieflings, Abishai, working zombies, etc. Explore the hive, the slums of Sigil. Use sensory stones to relive experiences from your past lives. Get tattoos from Fel. The Fallen Dabbus. Visit the brothel of slaking intellectual lusts, where the prostitutes talk to the patrons rather than what you might think they do. Travel the plains alongside companions that comprise a wisecracking floating skull, a confused robotic Modron, a lawful good-aligned succubus, and other characterful companions. Meet the black-hearted knight hag. No, meet the black-hearted night hag. Hag is not the name. Known as Ravel Puzzlewell. In her plain prison maze, try to unravel the enigmas and mysteries at the heart of one simple question. What can change the nature of a man? Unlike your usual RPG, Planescape Torment rewards you for talking to NPCs. In the first location of the game, the mortuary, you can gain the ability to raise dead. Far more experience points can be gained from experiences than fights. The game contains a higher word count than many novels. Expect to read a lot. Really? The game contains some guerrilla casting for the voices. Dan, Homer Simpson Castellaneta. Castellaneta. Yes. As Nordom. Mitch Walker Skinner Pelegi as Dakon. Sheena Morning Train Easton as Anna. And the operative word is definitely acting. It's all top notch. Your companion's banter will often raise a smile or elicit a laugh. Planescape Torment is the only game for which I've ever bought the accompanying strategy guide at 306 pages. Have we got that? No, we've got the case there. Yeah, 306 pages, Dave. That's just over 6 times the page count for the manual. I bought the strategy guide after completing the game because I knew I'd missed so much, so I immediately went back and played through the game a second time. The game engine was based on the Baldur's Gate Infinity engine, but somewhat hacked. The original game used some strange gameplay mechanics not found in Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale. To experience the game today, you can purchase it from Link. No, I'm not affiliated. Which contains many hundreds of bug fixes and uses the standard Infinity engine. I highly recommend this game, and unusually many other people agree. It's rated 9.4 out of 10 on IMDb and is roundly considered to be the best RPG ever released, and I concur. Well, there we go. I went out and bought Baldur's Gate when it came out because I wasn't getting my Ultima fix and I needed something new, and that looked awesome, and it was. I never picked this one up. I didn't follow it up. I didn't do it. I should. I should. Okay. Suze is next with, well, I mean, this is probably something that crossed everyone's minds. Didn't expect anyone to submit it, but here we go. Get excited, everyone. We're on the cutting edge here. Here's my submission for games with the letter P for Thursday. Apologies that this doesn't include any tech talk or fine detail of dates, game producers or subsequent games from said producer. I've yet to acquire that level of gaming knowledge, hence me joining these live sessions. Well, we've got to start somewhere. If you've got any questions, ask the chat. I'm sure they'll be more than willing to help you. Both parents working 2 jobs to be able to keep pilchard plates, faggots and egg sarnies on the table for me. Yes, that is a foodstuff if you're an American viewer here in the UK. We don't often eat it, but she did. On the table for me and my brothers and sisters. Most games and toys we received as gifts were second hand, so not the newest items on the market. Oh, but were they still a treat? We received this console and game, wait for it, around 1988, and we loved it. This is what was being played in 1988. Wow. The same year the PC Engine and CD-ROM came out. I know which one I'd rather have. The satisfaction of turning that little dial and hearing the joyous yet equally irritating ping was a highlight of my 80s childhood. I give you Pong. Warmest regards and best wishes. Yours sincerely, Suze. Well, it's gameplay in its rawest form, and if it made you happy, and if you had a sibling to go head to head with, then it's all good fun. Thank you. Next up, it's your friend and mine. Oh, look at that smiley happy face. It's Dave, Velociraptor. And it looks like he wants to say something to us. So we better give him some volume. What's behind the curtain, Dave?
Hello, cave dwellers.
Let's give Dave some volume. Let's give Dave 10 decibels. Sorry about that.
Hello, Neil. The name's Velociraptor. Dave Velociraptor. Well, actually, it's not. Hi, it's Chrissy here. And today, I'd like a P, please, Neil. Actually, I'd like 3 Ps. And it's a bit of a longer video than I intended to make, but, well, I know it's supposed to be a nibble, but this is more of a meal. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 Ps. I'm going to talk about Populous, Powermonger, and Peter Molyneux that made them. So today's first game is Populous.
Classic.
And it comes from Peter Molyneux of Bullfrog Productions. And no matter what you say about his personality flaws and his vaporware games, he produced some absolutely spectacular games.
Yeah, Dave, have we gone full on documentary here? Have we got documentary Dave?
Which
I like what I'm hearing.
come back to at the end. First game is Populous, and it's the second game he did with Bullfrog, but it's the first game that he actually designed. The first one was just a port for the Amiga. So Populous is a strategy played in real time, where as a god you issue orders to affect the landscape, building and raising it, invoking your divine abilities on the map, moving your followers around and trying to, in an attempt to beat your opponent.
Sorry, fair fight.
The rules for which abilities each of you can use for each map change, which means the gameplay changes a fair bit between each of them. I think it's 500 maps, there's loads of them. It's a massively popular game that came out in 1989. Now, Dune 2 is credited as the first real-time strategy, and it came out 3 years later in 1992. But Dune 2 is credited as the first major real-time strategy game, which clearly it's not. Herzog's Zwei,
Warcraft
which is
before
German
that,
for
didn't
Duke
you?
2, came out after Populous, but still in 1989 on the Nintendo Sega machine in Japan. It's credited as being the first RTS, even though it came out after Populous. Do you ever feel like British retro gaming history is airbrushed out and missed? I do. I often find when you hear about things that's console orientated or American orientated, and they just omit what happened in British microcomputer history until it kind of all joined up in the DOS era. Populous is the first game that I think is recognisable as an RTS, and it's the first massively popular one too. It was a very, very popular game. There were 2 expansions for Populous. They were just 500 extra levels each and landscape reskins. There wasn't really a fundamental expansion to the game. And there was also finally a world editor that came out. Populous had a sequel, Populous 2 in 1991, so not long afterwards. It developed the gameplay a bit. It gave you experience points after each victory, which you could then use to enhance your each element of your elemental divine acts with it. So you could focus in on fire, for example. Much the same gameplay, though, just expanded. And again, it had a data disc expansion, which was, as far as I understand, just more reskins and more levels. And finally, there was a 1998 game called Populous: The Beginning, which is Populous 3. And like everything else in 1998, it was just a 3D remake of previous games. It was okay, but I didn't play it much. I got it in CD and played it briefly, and it didn't grab my attention. And again, it had a data disc. The second game for today is also from Peter Molyneux and Bullfrog Productions, and it's Powermonger.
This was also great.
Powermonger is a second take on the RTS genre. It's similar to Populous, but it drills in a bit, and it adds a lot more depth to the people that you see in game. They've all got names and so on. They've all got tasks they do. And it develops into more of a conquering war game. War theme. It's not a war game, it's a war theme game. The game world is in isometric again, but it's in polygons, so you can actually rotate it. It came out in 1990, so it came out between Populous and Populous 2. And again, it came out before Dune 2, which, as you know, is the first real-time strategy game. Populous had a data disc which turns it into World War One. I've never played it today. I didn't know about it until fairly recently, but I bought it on eBay and it arrived through my door literally an hour ago. However, I understand it's just a reskin with extra maps, but it'll make it feel different, I'm sure. Now, I mentioned at the start that they come out with some spectacular games, and it's absolutely incredible, the games that Peter Molyneux worked on at Bullfrog Productions. So here's a list in its entirety of what he did at Bullfrog, which is the Druid 2 Amiga port. And then after that, everything else he did, he was designing or producing or whatever on it. So it was Populous, Powermonger, Flood, Populous 2, Syndicate, Theme Park, Magic Carpet, High Octane, Magic Carpet 2, and Dungeon Keeper. That's an incredible list of games. I can't think of anyone else that has a list of games that's incredible like that. However, after that, he went on to form Lionhead Studio, and things hasn't things haven't gone well for him since then.
Yeah.
It's a lot of vaporware. There's a lot of things that came out half baked. He's burnt a lot of bridges and he now refuses to speak to the press. But anyway, that's my 2 Ps for today. They are a bit of a 2 Ps in a pod, I suppose. But back to Neil in the studio.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, I mean, he's clearly always been an ambitious developer, and he had some great successes. Maybe that ambition was best served on the more limited machines, and as the capabilities of the machines became bigger and bigger, he just couldn't sort of realise whatever his vision was for these games on the more powerful machines while offering something that people wanted. You know, like you said, they all had to be 3D. I don't know what went wrong for him, but Populous was awesome. Power Manga was awesome. There was something about Populous on the Amiga, about the atmosphere of the game. I don't know if it was the music that always kind of just sort of set you on edge, or what it was. Sound effects, I don't know, but it worked, and it worked really well. And like you said, Power Manga was a great step up and introduced some really nice different gameplay elements. Well done. Atmosphere. Yes, atmosphere. That word I was trying to remember earlier. Well done, Dave. Dave is mastering Adobe Premiere. Keep it up, mate. Enjoyed that. Hide the best of talented young people. Yeah. Next up, it is Yannick. Yannick's got something interesting to show us. A piece of hardware. It's a Retrode. I'm assuming that's how you say it, because the R and the E are bold, and then Trode. Retrode? Retrode? Retrod? When I think about games beginning with P, he says, the first game that comes to mind is the Patrician 3. I haven't sent a picture of that. Hang on, have I got the right text with the right pictures? Yes, I have. Okay, fine. So he's talking about a game first. Or Patrizia? Patrizia? How do you say that? I'm going to put it in chat. Here you go. That's what I'm trying to say. As it's confusingly called in German. That's why I can't say it. It's the third instalment of a series, with the first game published in '92 for DOS, the Atari ST and the Amiga. It's the only part of the series I knew when I was a teenager, and I remember spending hours upon hours playing it with my older brother over our home network. So he goes on to say, in that game he's talking about you play as a medieval union of merchants, the Hands, and you achieve various goals by becoming the leader of the said union, all through an intricate network of trade, money, marriage, politics, city building and piracy. Sounds a bit like pirates. And then onto the hardware, which you're all screaming about. What is it? What is it? What does it do? The other thing I'm sending in today is something I've not seen featured yet and thought you might be interested in. Have you ever thought it would be nice to have a device to just plug your old games cartridges into your PC or Mac and just play the original cartridge on one of your emulators? If you have, let's call it the Retrotoad, is just the thing you need. You can plug in your NES, SNES, Genesis and Mega Drive cartridges, plus the matching controllers, excuse me, and have a USB plug-and-play experience with your emulator. The Retrotoad is mounted as a USB storage device, and the ROM is dumped into a file you can access with your emulator, so it's great as a ROM dumper as well then. The gamepads are also emulated via USB. That's all I have today, and I wish you the very best. Back to you in the studio. That's cool, isn't it? I mean, if you paired that up with a Raspberry Pi, you can mount it in a pretty neat case. You might even be able to squeeze a Pi Zero in there, but if you wanted a bit more power, you know, you could make your own console. Well, actually, you don't need any more power, do you? If it's NES, SNES, Mega Drive, Genesis, a Pi Zero will deal with that just fine. Gary Ninja says it does a ton of other systems they don't mention. What does it say on the box? Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Genesis, Mega Drive. All regions. Maybe they do other versions. Yeah, I like it. That's cool. Thank you, Yannick. Now we've got a bunch of videos now. We've done Custodes room tour. We've got a file here called Johan P Games -raw. Johan's going to give it to us raw. What's he got for us? Let's find out.
Hello, Cave Dwellers.
Hello,
Today is
Johan.
the letter P, and while the games I've chosen are not exactly retro, they do fill, I think, something important, and that's what we would call homebrew games for old consoles and old computers. And what I've chosen is this.
Aha!
Planet
From
X2
the 8-bit
for the
guy.
Commodore 64 and Planet X3 for the MS-DOS computers. So not retro per se, but still
Is that me
homebrew
peeking
for
behind the
these old
box?
computers, and I find that really good that people are still making games for these old systems. I supported this on Kickstarter, so it's by the 8-bit guy, aka David Murray. And you also get Planet X1 for the VIC-20 in the box when you buy the biggest pack. So that's those games. So now you may be wondering, why do I have Neil on my background here on my computer? Well, I thought I should add some real retro games, real quote-unquote retro games here as well. So for the Amiga,
They
I chose this game.
Oh,
Now this was originally a
top
a,
choice.
what you call an arcade game, but I've only played it myself on one of my mate's brother's Amigas. But I thought I should also add a game that I've played myself, so it's going to be an MS-DOS game, and it will be this, Panzer General.
Oh, bit of
I got this
strategy.
in a bundle a couple of years ago.
We haven't had any pinball games yet.
I played this
Well, we
game
had
a lot,
Psycho
but I wasn't really
pinball,
very good at it.
but not
So
Amiga.
these are my P games. So thank you for listening, and back to the studio, to you, Gizmo.
Back to you, Gizmo, in the studio. It's Ovaltine. It's not tea. It's Ovaltine at this time of night. Nice mega Ovaltine. Ovaltine. That's what it is. Next up, it's Mr. Green Fox's letter P.
Hello, Cave Dwellers, Mr.
Oh, he's a little bit loud.
Hello, Cave Dwellers, Mr. Green Fox here, and today I bring you, for the letter P, one of the many oddities of my home country. But first, a quick word of our sponsor. Brought to you by Nil, for all your retro restoration needs. Making you with Nil. So what I bring to you today is the Phantom System, which is a clone console from 1988. It doesn't sound like anything special until you take a look on it. The Phantom System is a console that looks like an Atari 7800, has a Mega Drive-like joypad, and is actually a NES clone. Yup, something special for sure. By the way, Ghostbusters is one of the games that was a packing game for the system for some reason, the other ones being Pitfall, Gauntlet, and Schwarzenegger Predator. Don't ask me why, that was the way the things were here. So the reason I picked this one for the letter P, besides being a lovely oddball,
I actually like the styling of that. I like the way it looks.
is because I actually had one before, until the day I made the fatal mistake of letting my cousin borrow it. Yeah, I never saw the color again. But that didn't make the memories any less enjoyable, especially because I had a pretty decent selection back in the day. I had my time with Mega Man 2, Gauntlet, and actually finished Baby Boomer with a zapper in one hand and the joypad in the other one. And how can heaven be more difficult than hell? That makes no sense. Anyway, I digress. The point is that I have fun with it, and it sure is an interesting oddball for you guys to look. So that's it for me now, guys. See you later. Bye bye. And remember, make it new with Neil. Hello, Gabe.
Thank you, Mr. Green Fox. Do you know what? I don't know how common they are in Brazil, but if there's any way I can get some money over to you and get one of these shipped over to me, that would be fun to look at. I particularly like the fact that it has, well, Dad here, who is just screaming at the television. Can I zoom that in for you? I don't know that I can. Let's have a look. No, it's not going to let me zoom in. Hang on. I'm determined to do this. There we go. So Dad, who's screaming at the television, he's actually got what looks very much like a Mega Drive pad. We saw it a little bit earlier. And he's just going, Mega Drive pad, playing NES games. Mum, she's holding a glass of wine up there. She's just absolutely smashed. And that is a fantastic collar there. Might even be a neck brace. So sign me up. I want one. There we go. Screwing up my OBS. Thank you, Mr. Green Fox. Custado, I could Photoshop a BBC in that. You could for the next quiz. Next up, it's Ralph. It's our friend Ralph. Oh, we've got the full Ralph shot today. He's back in the garage. See what he's got for us.
Hello, Neil. How are you today?
I'm good. You've got Mug, Tape Measure, Derek. All of the points.
How is Elder Cave Dwellers doing?
How are you doing, Cave Dwellers?
Good? Right. I'm Ralph. Oops. Shameless plug there. Do excuse me. Right. My pee video. Right then. There's only one pee that I can actually think has changed my gaming history as much as... Well, I was kind of out of gaming for quite a while. Kind of just plodding along with certain bits.
You're such a tease, Ralph. You're such a tease.
There's little gubbins come along. Yes, it's a Sony PlayStation. And it was nice. All I had was Tomb Raider and F1, the first game for this. And it's just the most funnest... Get yourself back into gaming, because there's no faffing around with it. There's no keyboard. There's no pads. Anything. It's just straight onto the disc, and it's easy to faff around with. And there's been so many evolutions on the PlayStation, the PSP, obviously. The PS2, which is quite ridiculous. The amount of things you can do with this, and there's even a hard drive on this one that I've added onto it, so I can have tons of games on it. And the slim version, obviously, and the mini that came out last year, the year before, and then of course the daddy. What I love to play is the PS3, and it's such a good console. I don't want the PS4. It's too bulky. It's too expensive, and the games. There's no retro stuff on it whatsoever. But it's my P. It's my P. Yes, my P. I need cutting out. But yeah, it's such a good gaming system that you can get so many evolutions out of it. It came out of absolutely nowhere, the PlayStation. Everything was either Sega or Nintendo, then boom, off these come. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Love the PlayStations. Especially down to the... It's nice having a plug-and-play version with some games on, but that needs hacking, by the way. But yeah, the original PlayStation is my P letter for the consoles, the games, or whatever's. So anyway, thanks for watching. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Ralph. That's Retro Tech Ralph on YouTube. Ralph has got videos for us, I think, for the rest of the alphabet. So thank you so much for your tremendous effort, Ralph. For that, we will give Ralph another quick link. Retro Tech Ralph, who recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Yeah, link to Ralph's channel. PlayStation, great choice. Ralph saying he's resisting the PS4. We're sort of about the PS5 now. Have you seen the Unreal Tech demo that was doing the rounds today? Looks fantastic. The nice thing is it's the Unreal Engine. It will filter down for us PC users as well, or up. Maybe down for a couple of months, and then as PC tech shoots past the PlayStation 5, as it does, because a new generation of console usually gets the jump on the PC for a couple of months, and then everything catches up. So, you know, all of that tech will be, you don't need to get a PS5, but to see it running on a PS5 as sort of the base system there on that demo, looks amazing. Looks amazing. Yeah, it's not a game, it's a tech demo, so of course it doesn't have as many overheads as a full-on game, but it's still impressive. Yeah. So, oh, it's Richard next. Richard's going to take us on a trip, as he always does. See what he's got.
Hi Neil. Hello cave dwellers. What a pleasure it was to pick from a plethora of precious perfection. Paradroid was a game I played around a mate's house. Can't remember which platform. Possibly C64. So when it presented itself for the Amiga as Paradroid 90, I was pleased to purchase it. My penultimate choice is Powerdrome.
Oh, this was
Having
good.
pulled at the pictures in Amiga format, I plan to buy this as soon as possible. I played this to death in '89. Such a great game. Oh, you want me to measure the 3.5-inch floppy? Certainly.
Oh.
It's about 3.5 inches.
Look at that. Look at that measuring device. He's got his earrings and his full size and his mug. And look at that lovely little XLR input on a little mixing desk. Yeah, but it's about the games. And yeah, Powerdrome is a great sort of 3D racer. And I remember poring over the pictures of it in Amiga format and thinking that looks amazing.
About 3.5 inches. About
in the
an
cinema.
inch larger than my boyfriend's.
Behave. We haven't had Power Drift. I don't know if we'll get Power Drift. Why am I on the Amstrad manual? Ah, here you go. Here's a pinball game.
In the contentious final PS Pinball Dreams on the Amstrad SLI PC128.
I think she's
It
drunk.
was puzzling how they could pull this level of performance, purely because it's perfectly stunning. Produced in 2019, it parallels the Amiga version in quality.
I've seen it on YouTube. I really want to get my 6128 out and see it in person on a CRT. It's GIF Wars.
Now back to Neil in the studio. Hi Neil. Hello cave dwellers.
We've ended with Gary. Oh dear. Well, I was enjoying Pinball Dreams. It's Rob's choice. Ooh, it's another Pong. What have we got then?
Evening, Cave Dwellers. Well, my choice for the letter P is
It's
a
like
game
a modern mini remake.
that is 40 years old this year, and it's the first ever video game that I played. I think it was Butlin's Barry Island where I played it in the arcade, and that game is, of course, Pac-Man.
I've got the mini Pac-Man
There's
card.
no need to go on about what this game's about or what you have to do, because I'm sure at some point in everyone's life they would have played this game. And this is my 3/4 scale mini arcade machine. But this is a little bit on the small side for my hands, so how about this?
Oh, hello.
And this is my full-size replica Pac-Man arcade machine that was completed last year.
So is this a...
Chris
I don't know
over
if Rob's
at
in the chat.
Retro Bartop.
Oh, he's going to tell us.
.co.uk built this shell, and I completed the rest of it, painted it, put the vinyls on the sides. It's got an old Windows PC inside it. It's got
nice. So this is a custom build from scratch.
CRT. It's got an
Hello,
original.
Rob. You've answered the question I was
Pac-Man
going to ask you in the video.
Marquee. It's got an original glass bezel. Bit worse for wear. It was all cracked.
Oh, it makes it look more authentic though, doesn't it?
And I've just sort of touched it up. Yeah, it's very, very brittle, the paint on the back. I daren't touch it because it just flakes off. We've got an original control panel, complete with cigarette burn. And an original Midway coin door with coin mechs. It's even got a original coin bucket inside.
Oh, and there's your mouse.
So I don't know if you can see the PC in there, but you can hear it.
Is it CRT in there, Rob?
Let's close that. So let's put a coin in.
Good morning, to pay cement.
There's quite a few scratches on the screen.
19-inch CRT. Nice.
But I wasn't too bothered because I wanted it to look
do you know the make? Is
used
it
and
a
old.
Terex or something like
I didn't
that?
want a brand new.
Is it a deshelled
brand new
television?
washing machine? I wanted it to look vintage. And if I press the both buttons at the same time, brings it up to a menu because obviously it's running on main. So you've got Pac and Pal, Pac-Man Plus, Pac-Mania.
No idea. Okay. Well, it works. It looks
Bingo.
great.
Phoenix, Pleiades. I can't pronounce that. Pooyan. And of course the original name for Pac-Man, which was Puckman. And I know you're all wondering, how tall is this? There we go. 170 centimetres. Okay. See you all later. Evening, Cave Dwellers.
Thank you very much, Rob. That is a stunning machine. Absolutely stunning. I love that you've... Although it's a new machine, because it's so difficult to get hold of a Pac-Man machine, it's not an off-the-shelf one. You've custom built it to be exactly like the original. And then you've kitted it out with authentic parts, like the marquee, like the control panel. It must just feel like the real thing. It is. It is. You mean all you've done is given it wood, and then put the put the original parts on it. Brilliant. Yeah, it's not the original PCB, but it's nice to have that choice of games. It's nice to have those extra games in there. Weighs a ton, I bet it does. Yeah, I've never had anything quite as nice as that. Cabinets I've had in the past have been just sort of generic jammer cabinets, which I've torn to pieces. But that is lovely. So we've just got a few more to get through. We've got Russ, who we can't see. Come on, Russ. Oh no, what's it doing? What's going on here? Russ, what are you doing to my BLC? Oh no. Russ. Russ has sent me a virus. We'll come back to Russ. Let's try another one. Okay. Okay, we've got Saint. Rust.exe, yeah. So what we've got here is Saint's choice of game. A game called Penetrator. Looks like a Scramble clone. Don't see any fuel dumps yet. He is 4,000 points. He is penetrating. My soundboard audio is doubled. Okay. I shall not press my soundboard audio. I think it doubles when I've got the desktop audio turned on. That's why it's doubling up. So if you're watching a video, yeah, I'll work on that. Harry Attack wannabe. So that's Saint's Choice. Looks fun. I haven't played this one myself. Had a level editor and it gets very difficult. Is that Penetrator we're talking about? Oh, level 3 coming up. Sorry, I killed it. Let's bring it back. Let's get to level 3. Where were we? That's game over. So that must be level 3. We're going to put your name in as. Oh, look, fireworks. I score crap. Oh, silly words. Never fail to make me laugh. Time for Tim.
Good afternoon, it's Tim here.
Hello, Tim.
And for letter P. Yeah, it's back.
Thank you, Rob. Very nice.
I do have letter O somewhere in my little box of spare Amiga keys. And there it is, in fact, right at the bottom, which I forgot to dig out yesterday. But anyway, when I was thinking about this, I nearly settled on Pikmin. This one, Pikmin 2 on the GameCube, just because, yeah, Nintendo has a go at puzzlers and creates a very cute character and a nice, I'd call it Lemmings-like style of play, puzzles with different creatures, but I chose not to because actually I've settled on Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door, and really because it's actually a great a great game, great RPG, and I really appreciate the 2D kind of style, and yeah, so it's fun to look at and fun to play. And not only that, but
you've squashed your pee.
Nintendo released a little video on YouTube, and obviously Neil, feel free to play this directly, but yeah, they've just announced a new Paper Mario game called Paper Mario Origami.
That's cool.
Which looks incredible on the Switch. So hopefully,
will you crease yourself?
It'll crease you up when you play it. Bum bum. And yeah, it's a good franchise. I know Nintendo sometimes might overuse Mario, but actually it's a good use of Mario, and hopefully it will be a good use of Switch as well. Anyway, that's me for O, and well, back to you in the studio, Neil, on that bombshell.
On that bombshell. Thank you, Tim. I do like to see a familiar series, as we were saying when we saw The Legend of Zelda the other day. A familiar series take on a completely different graphical style but maintain that charm and that familiarity. I like it. I'd like to try that. Is Gary the Stig? Now, Russ's video is not even giving me a preview as all the other videos are. So, Russ, if you're watching... Oh, you are there, Russ. If you wouldn't mind sending it again, we'll start the show tomorrow with that one, if that's okay. Sorry we can't play it today. It's probably me having a problem with the download, but what I do to keep my mailbox clear, I download, I delete the emails. So that I know I've got it. But obviously something's gone wrong with the download. So if you can send that again. Aidan, we're going to save yours for tomorrow. I know it's a P, but it's over 10 minutes long. So I think we've had enough today, and I want to enjoy your video refreshed, Aidan, if that's okay. Aidan, who will probably come back and watch later. Oh no, Pixels as well. Pixels, I haven't got your video. Sorry, Pixels. So we'll start off with the Ps we haven't seen yet tomorrow. I always enjoy a Pixels video. I'm sorry I haven't got that one. Doing really bad. What I'll do, Pixels, is I'll download all of yours all at once and line them all up. Computer illiterate Neil. Yes, that's me, Mike. That's me. It's a modern computer. Thank you, Pixels. So thank you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Highlights for me: I liked Dave's documentary. I liked Mr. Green Fox's peek into Brazil. I loved Costado's room tour. I loved the Pac-Man cabinet we saw. I loved Mumbo's Pom Pom Party. As always, Dana and Sheepy Tina, love the facts that you bring. Paul Kitchen's screen, everyone did great today. Thank you, everyone. So give yourselves all a pat on the back in the chat. Thank you for the few super chats I had. That's a really nice touch. And Q, is Q going to be hard? I did see Custado had Question of Sport on his shelf. Are we going to see that tomorrow for Q? And I am in the middle at the cave, so I had some furniture delivered today to extend the cave. My back's killing me. I hope to get it all done today, but I haven't. I've had to order a load of acrylic stands so I can nicely display games, all sorts of other stuff. So I'll probably give you a sneak peek on here of what I'm up to, and then patrons, I'll give you a full tour when it's all finished and looking good. Yeah, that's what we're up to. See you all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat place. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Get ready. Checkpoint. Congratulations!